Lesson 1-8, Logical Reasoning and Counterexamples. There's going to be two forms of statements that we're going to see throughout this unit. The first one is the conditional statement. This is if A is this, then it was. And then we're also going to see if-then statements. So if A, then B. And we're going to look at both of these examples so that you have a better understanding. When we are identifying a hypothesis and conclusion, there's a few key words that we look for. A hypothesis follows the word if, whereas a conclusion follows the word then. So let's look at the example below to see if we can identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. If it is the 4th of July, then we will see the fireworks. So the hypothesis here is it is the 4th of July, and then the conclusion is that we will see fireworks. Pause the video to try a few examples. Identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. If it is Friday, then we do not have school tomorrow. So here's the word if, and so we would say that the hypothesis is that it is Friday, and then here's the word then, and so we would conclude that we do not have school tomorrow. If Ava is 3 years old, then she is in preschool. So if Ava is 3 years old is our hypothesis, then she is in preschool is your conclusion. And then for the last one, if Ethan brings in his homework to class is your hypothesis, then and your conclusion is that he will receive full credit. We're going to look at how to write a conditional statement in an if-then form. First, you have to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion, and then you rewrite it in if-then form. So look at the example below. Johnny gets ice cream when he is at the Comfy Cow. So the hypothesis would be when Johnny is at the Comfy Cow, because you're hypothesizing or assuming that when he is at the Comfy Cow, then for your conclusion, he gets chocolate chip ice cream. So if we wanted to rewrite this in if-then form, we would say, if Johnny is at the Comfy Cow, then he gets chocolate chip ice cream. So it's in the if-then form, and you're able to identify your hypothesis because we've learned in the previous slide that the hypothesis follows the if. So here's your if, Johnny's at the Comfy Cow, and then the conclusion follows the word then. So we have then, he gets chocolate chip ice cream. Deductive reasoning is when you're using facts, rules, definitions, or properties to reach a valid conclusion. I think the best way to learn this is to look at an example. So let's read this one below together. If one number is odd and one number is even, then their product must be even. So we want to identify what's important. One number is odd, one number is even. The product, which we know that means multiplication, must be even. So they've given us the numbers 5 and 8. So we first want to see if this rule works. So the number 5 is the odd, the number 8 is the even, and the product of the two, 8 times 5 is 40. This is also even. So we would be able to say that this statement is true. When creating counterexamples, the hypothesis is true, but the conclusion is false. So for this example, if the leaves on the tree are brown, then it is fall. The leaves on the tree are brown, but it does not necessarily mean that it is fall, because the leaves on the tree could be brown, but the tree could be dead. or the leaves on the tree could be brown, but the tree has not received water. So the hypothesis could be true, the leaves on the tree are brown, but the conclusion is not necessarily true, or there's other answers or other options for that hypothesis. Pause the video to complete this lesson review. You're going to be getting some more practice with these logical reasoning and encounter examples during class, so don't be overwhelmed if you're a little bit confused. Once you see some of these, you'll be able to understand the expectations and how to read them.